Oh friends, it's finally here. Hey, it's Romania Black, and I don't have much of a voice, which is really sad, but we're on chapters 49 and 50 of Twittering Birds Never Fly. I don't have much of a voice, and that sucks. But I can't help it because I have been so excited for these chapters to come out, and they're finally here. I've waited patiently for the English translations because by the time the English translation for chapter 49 came out, chapter 50 was not far behind it. So I'm like, I might as well wait for both chapters to come out and do them both at the same time. And it's chapters 49 and 50, the 50th chapter, Twittering Birds. It seemed very important. So here we are. And so my voice is cracking. I've had a sore throat, but you know what? I'm not going to stop. I wanted to read this chapter so badly. And so I went back and read chapter 48 because it's been a hot second since we've read Twittering Birds Never Fly. And when we left off, it's just all a big mess. Yashiro cannot admit that he likes Doumeki. He can't tell Doumeki that he's not been sleeping with Anami. It's just a ruse to make Doumeki think that he hasn't changed, but the reality is he likes Doumeki, and so they can't get rid of Yashiro because he's tied to this whole deal with the two groups that they're following, and so Doumeki's kind of like, I'm kind of over it. He wants to be over Yashiro, and he's jealous because of Anami, but he still loves Yashiro. And then in the last chapter, he sticks Kamiya with Yashiro to try to get him taken care of. And at the very end, Yashiro's like, you know what? No, I want Doumeki. You said you'd do it with me. And Doumeki's like, well, you have Anami. You don't need me. And Yashiro's like, I don't have Anami, but he can't tell Doumeki because he's too damn proud. And it's just... And the chapter ended on a cliffhanger telling Doumeki to go get the stuff. So I can't stand it. I'm like, how dare they? But we have chapters 49 and 50 to read, y'all. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with these two chapters. I opened them up and there's nothing yet. So I'm really excited to see what all we get with chapters 49 and 50. But I've been waiting literal months to read this. So I'm sorry if my voice is annoying, but I just can't help it. I was like, I need to find out what happens. So with that being said, I hope you all are excited as I am to see maybe Doumeki and Yashiro will have fun sexy times. It's chapters 49 and 50. Who knows what could happen, but I can't wait anymore, you guys. I hope you all are excited as I am, but we are going to start chapters 49 and 50 of Twittering Birds Never Fly, and we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Let's do this. Wow. I feel like I have a smoker's voice talking about these chapters, but oh my god, I just need these two boys. I just need Yashiro to talk. I just need Yashiro to communicate because he is giving Doumeki all the wrong signals. And it just frustrates me so much. I'm like, Yoneda Kou, why can't you let Yashiro just come out and communicate that he really, it's so frustrating. Right? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because what the deal is at the end of all this is Doumeki loves Yashiro, but Doumeki has been through hell with him. Like Doumeki has been, well, he tried to be gentle to him like way back in volume 4, and Yashiro was like, Yashiro didn't know how to handle that and process it because his whole life he's been used through sex as an object and no one has loved him. Like the closest anybody outside of Doumeki has come to loving him is maybe Mizumi, maybe Ryuta, but nobody has loved him without using him like Doumeki has. And Yashiro just didn't know how to process it. So the only thing he could think to do was drive him away. And so that's what he tried to do. And it worked for 4 years, but now Doumeki has come back, and Doumeki this whole time, I feel for Doumeki because he's like, I don't know what you want. He's like, I love you, Yashiro, but if you don't, he's like, I've tried to be gentle with you and love you, and you don't want that. So he's like, I tried doing what you want me to do. You don't want that. So he's like, do you like me or not? You drug me back to your room, but then you didn't want to do anything. So he's like, what do you want from me? Like, Yashiro's sending all these mixed signals. And Doumeki's like, I don't know what to do, but I still love you. And he hates Nami because he knows Nami's a douchebag. And the moment Yashiro went back to him, I was like, what are you doing? So I feel for Nanahara and Kashima because, Kamiya and Nanahara. I feel for them because they're just trying to look after their bros. They're trying to look after Yashiro and Doumeki, but they're like, you guys need to talk this out and figure out what the hell is going on, right? And we have all this other business with the Yakuza and all the twists and turns. But we all know that, yeah, it's building the lore. It's doing all this. But honestly, of all the Yakuza, none of them really matter to me. Like, the whole Nikki abduction plotline was interesting. And I like that Tsukiyama has taken Doumeki under his wing. And I like that. I find the connection between him and Amao really interesting. And Amo, his dynamic and all this, and what he is wanting out of it is fascinating. So I'm curious where that's going to go. But honestly, the part that I find most fascinating of all the Yakuza outside of Doumeki and Yashiro is Mizumi. Because Mizumi wants Yashiro to, like, be with him. But Yashiro wants nothing to do with Mizumi in that regard. Like, he's not attracted to Mizumi like that. They were lovers at one time, but he's like, nah, I'm over that. So that part's fascinating to me. But the other stuff with the Yakuza, I'm like, yeah. Let's get to Doumeki. So just this idea that Yashiro, because he's dealt with his impotence, he's like, oh, I want you to, like, he's like, I want you to stay here with me, but he's like, I don't want to do anything with you. Like, Yashiro is scared because he's scared of actually falling in love with someone, and he thinks that he's come to realize that he does love Doumeki, but now he doesn't know what to do with that because he's never loved anyone before. He didn't think he was capable or deserving of love. So he just doesn't know what to do or how to process it. And I'm sorry, but Doumeki being the one in the dominating position and being like, fine, if you don't want me to be this gentle puppy dog, I won't be a puppy dog. And it's like, oh my God. Like, I'm not used to seeing Doumeki, like, in this position, and it's great, but I'm like, oh my God, what do we do with this, right? So then we get the whole breakdown of the Yakuza groups, which I am glad. I'm glad that they actually broke down for us the Yakuza groups, because it's been a while since I've read the other volumes of Twittering Birds that I needed a refresher, right? And I like Tsunekawa's character. Him and Mizumi and Amao are probably my favorites. Ryuzaki, I like his character too, but he's kind of MIA right now. And then we have, obviously, Doumeki being affiliated in all of this. But chapter 50... Yoneda Kou wants us to suffer. She just wants us to suffer. It's like I want a happy ending with these two, and I want them to realize, I want Doumeki. I need Yashiro to confess, damn it. I need Yashiro to just confess that he loves Doumeki. He doesn't know what to do with that emotion. He doesn't know how to handle it, but he won't do it, and it's so frustrating, because Doumeki, like, he says, you wanted me to do this. That's why you chose me. He's like, quit giving me mixed signals. You want me to be with me, but then when I'm not with you, then when I am, you shove me away. But then when I'm not with you, you try to take me away. He's like, make up your mind. And Yashiro's defense mechanism every single time is to deny it. He goes into a state of denial. Like, he's like, oh, I said I preferred you. I didn't say you were good. I'm like, shut the frick up. He was like the best you ever had, and you didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, damn it, Yashiro. And Doumeki, it's like, does Doumeki believe him or not? And then he's like, fine. But then, like, Doumeki being forceful is something. And Yashiro, like, he says, oh, well, you've just done it with Inami, and you've already become like this. And I'm like, well, one, he didn't do it with Inami. He hasn't been doing it with Inami. And 2, he becomes like this because it's you. It's not anybody else. He's been lying to you, Doumeki. And I just need Kou to let Yashiro come clean to Doumeki that he's been lying and he hasn't been having sex this whole time. I'm like, why? Why can't we have nice things? Now, I don't think that they had sex. I think that Doumeki did these things to him, but I don't think that they literally had sex. And he sees I just noticed he sees on Yashiro's hands where he's been bound. And Yashiro's like, you think you know everything about me? It pisses me off. And Doumeki's like, well, fine. He's like, and him taking off the tie, I'm like, oh my God. Because I love Doumeki's character and I feel for him because he's like, I want you to like me and I want you to want me. And is this what you want? Like, do you want me to do this to you like the other men have? Because he's like, is that it? And Yashiro's like, no. He's like, do you like this being done to you? Or could it be that you wish to be treated gently instead? And the thing of it is like, I think Yashiro, he wants to be loved. And whether it's rough or gentle, whatever, he wants to be genuinely loved, not used as an object. And Doumeki is the first person to do that for him. But because he's grown up his entire life never having that, relationship with anybody, he doesn't know what to do with it. And he's like, I don't know. And so it's like, what do we do with it? It's like, where do we go with this? So, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Because Doumeki is like, he is trying, y'all. He is trying to reach Yashiro. And Yashiro is just not giving an inch. Literally. And Doumeki's like, just trying. He's like, even if I don't touch it, you still become like this. And he's like, I once wished for this. And that's when Nanahara shows up. Nanahara's like, well, I should not have shown up, right? And Yashiro just walks around naked. And I like that he's like, well, Doumeki's like, we didn't have sex. And I believe Doumeki, right? And he's like, well, they definitely did it. And it's like, no, they didn't. I love Yashiro with his hair down. He looks so good with his hair down. It's like, but they're going to try to find Okuyama. So then they go meet the girl and the woman that's the head of the club. And she calls Doumeki by his first name. She says Chikara. She calls him by first name. It's like, oh. Now the question is, has Doumeki been with her? Or has she been teaching him things and they've formed a brother-sister type relationship? I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, I don't think Doumeki would ever do anything with anybody except Yashiro. But then there's another part of me that's like, maybe he has. At this point, I don't know. It's like, maybe he has with her. I need both of them to come clean to each other. I need Yashiro to be like, are you with this woman? And Doumeki to answer him honestly. And I need Doumeki to be like, what's your deal? And Yashiro to answer him honestly. And neither of them are doing this right now. And it's frustrating. My voice is gone. So I'm like, damn it. What do we do? What do we do? But it seems like Doumeki has been getting information from her, right? About the Okuyama. And he's like, I heard they're an item. And man, it's so hard because Yashiro is clearly jealous of her. He is jealous that Doumeki could be with her, right? It is painfully obvious that he is jealous. And Yashiro just can't. And when he says, he's like, being gentle on women. Well, I'm also gentle with you, Kamiya-san. Yeah, right. And so he says, or could it be that you wish to be treated gently? And so that's another thing too with Yashiro is the idea that it's rooted in Yashiro's trauma, right? Because Yashiro's father, who sexually assaulted him, kept treating him like a woman, right? And that's part of his trauma. And so it's this horribly messed up situation where Yashiro, he, on the one hand, does want to be treated gently by Doumeki, but he doesn't want to be treated like a woman and compromises masculinity. And when he remembers Doumeki asking if he wanted to be treated gently, he's like, I don't want to be treated like a woman, like Doumeki's woman, which brings him back to the trauma with his father. And so it's just digging up all this, and he gets so worked up that he just leaves and goes to Inami. And I almost didn't recognize Inami because his hair's down and everything. And Yashiro was like, well, fine, I just need you to relieve this pent up frustration. And of course, Doumeki followed him. Of course he does. And then that's when Inami's like, well, do you want people just to treat you like an object? And the thing is, Yashiro does not, but he doesn't know what else to do. He doesn't know how else to handle the situation. And damn, Doumeki just taking Inami, grabbing him and throwing him aside, and then taking Yashiro away and just saying, a voice with unconcealable anger, would you be satisfied if I were the one to violate you? And that's not the case. It's not the case. That's not what Yashiro wants. And I'm afraid Doumeki's going to do something bad. And it's going to hurt everything. And Yashiro's going to be like, that's not what I want. And I'm just like, I just need you boys to sit down and be honest with one another. Why can't you do this? Why can't we have nice things? So, I don't know when chapter 51's coming out. It's going to frustrate the hell out of me. It's going to be bad. Y'all know it. But what can we do? What can we do? I don't know if this is going to be the end of volume 8. I'm not sure. Okay, it says the end of volume 8. Yeah, it's going to be the end of that. This was the end of volume 8. Why? March is when the next chapter comes out, which means it'll probably be April before we get the next chapter in English. My birthday's in May, so Yoneda Kou, if you could give me like the biggest birthday wish, have these guys resolve things, please. Why can't you give us nice things, Yoneda Kou? Why do you make things tragic and hard for all of us? Nobody asked for this. Damn it. So, I'm sorry my voice was shot during all of this. I hope that it comes back soon. But these chapters were so damn good, but now I'm so sad. I need our boys to be like good again. And what can we do? So, dang it. In any case, I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below, but Yoneda Kou finally gives us, she does this. She gives us like the spiciness that we want, but it wasn't satisfying this time around because it's not honest. And then she's like, well, I gave you some spice. Now here's like a dump load of angst. And it's like, we didn't ask for this, Yoneda Kou. But we're masochistic, so we keep reading, right? Right. So, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. Thank you all for reading with me. And I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. But I will be back later this spring, with chapter 51 of Twittering Birds Never Fly. Bye.